Opinion: after the thrill of the ASB Classic and continuing engrossment in the Australian Open, my mind naturally turns back to my professional tennis career. Or, to be more accurate, the professional tennis career I should have had. Disappointingly, my tennis vocation was hobbled in its nascence by the lack of one vital ingredient. It's also the one crucial component missing from New Zealand's perennial failure to produce a tennis champ of any stature. Internationally, New Zealand tennis has a similar track record to the country's background in the sport of sprinting. We have the odd talented performer, whose rarity is their most media-worthy attribute, but never anyone who brings home the prizes. We have plenty of athletes capable of being molded into world-beating tennis champions, but something in the New Zealand character prevents that conversion from raw talent to world tennis dominance. This lack is, of course, pushy parenting. Not that New Zealand does not have plenty of parents with high ambitions for their children. It's more that, in New Zealand, the time-hungry parental drive so vital to success goes into sports like yachting, or into team sports, where the individual is by necessity subsumed into communal goals. Rafael Nadal of Spain would have been a formidable opponent. Top tennis demands that obsessive parent-child combination that renders all of life's other obligations, such as education and socialization, secondary. Take, for instance, Judy Murray. She is the mother of British tennis champion Andy Murray, whose career sadly seems to be on borrowed time due to persistent injuries. In watching Murray in a big tournament, you could depend on the camera sweeping the crowd to land on the intense and fiercely adoring face of his mum. It might be that Judy Murray is an ardent tennis fan and might have gone to all the big games anyway, but when mum is still a spectator at your day job when you reach 30, something more than normal maternal interest is at play. Anyway, I had parents who not only lacked the ability to spot a tennis prodigy, but who were also without the time and energy to set that singular talent on a trajectory to stardom. Some children don't need that much encouragement. Swedish tennis legend Bjorn Borg was also without a nurturing family in the tennis sense, but, as a small boy, would go to his club to spend countless hours practicing with a racket far too big for him. Not that my parents didn't try. We had a large section with a reasonable stretch of lawn at the back. Dad placed a couple of sections of low picket fence across the grass in a way that suggested he could do no more to assist my career. Perhaps, now I look back, my parents did have high hopes for my tennis career. When other kids got more religion-oriented gifts for their first Holy Communion, I received a new tennis racket. Grigor Dimitrov of Bulgaria is at least happy with his racket. That episode reminds me of another possible cause for not becoming the tennis pro that clearly was my destiny. I am sure my career was stifled by not having the right racket. My weapon was always cheaper and therefore inferior to the one wielded by my friend Michael Mooney, who went on represent New Zealand and coach tennis in Germany. Having the wrong racket also plagued my amateur career, and I fully understand why professional players destroy their rackets in moments of exasperation. A succession of bad shots is indisputably the racket's fault. I still have the Wilson Max Flea with the fracture in its head sustained when it determinedly thwarted my efforts to beat my friend Chris, a future New Zealand representative football player. A more recent racket was never the same after I drop-kicked it over the fence in response to its refusal to transform my faultless skill and power into consistent aces. Come to think of it, my parents might wisely, but wrongly, have thought my fragile temperament did not display the cool self-control and confidence top tennis players need. No sport will expose your mental health defects more publicly and painfully than singles tennis. The disintegration of personality on the tennis court is not just due to a toxic mixture of self-hatred and narcissism. It is caused equally by the overwhelming feeling you are ineffably better than the way you are playing. This feeling is based on your best shot, the shot that starts with the meaty sound of the ball hitting the sweet spot, that continues with a searing journey just millimeters over the net and culminates in an unreturnable descent just inside the baseline. That shot is the real tennis you, and if the racket was right, the light better and the surface more suitable, you would be smashing those beautiful winners all day. Would a professional tennis career have been a stretch? I could have been one of those tennis pros that writer Martin Amis called the personalities of the court. His essay 3 Stabs at Tennis, he explains his use of the word personality as an exact synonym for a duo-syllable starting with a and ending with e. I never got the chance to be a tennis personality for, as they say, reasons beyond my control. The potential, however, was always there. Stuff.